Welcome everybody to Geek Boots Military Nerds for this exciting episode. We like to tell you about the big green weenie and how it likes to continue to fuck us. Just like waiting for that new video game, hurrying it up, and then all of a sudden it didn't iron out the bugs and glitches, and now your game doesn't work. I am your host.
Mm-hmm. Suck a fucking dick, motherfucker. Suck a fucking dick.
Motherfucker!
Suck a fucking dick, motherfucker. Suck a fucking dick.
Motherfucker!
I am your host, Tom Cruise Cosplay. With me today is Single Dad,
What up?
Mayan Goddess,
Hi!
and J4 Props.
Hmm.
And on today's episode, we are talking about upcoming video games. The reason why we're doing this is because I'm excited for new video games, but every time I look at something on YouTube or I look at an article, it's a puff piece with a bunch of bullshit that I don't care about, and they're beating around the bush. So for this episode, we're just going to get straight to the facts, talk about what we know. We'll talk about what we're excited about and trying to hype you up, but we're just going to get straight to the facts because Lord knows that's what I would like. Each one of us is tackling a video game, bringing on the facts, and then, of course, the stuff we usually do when we bullshit around is just the questions in between. So I was going to start with J4, but he's begging me not to because he is half asleep.
Thanks for being here.
Yeah.
We heart you, J4. Thank you for your sacrifice while in country.
Right. So anyway, instead, we're going to throw it to Single Dad. He's going to talk about Cyberpunk.
Okay, so
Hype.
this I can't not be excited about this game. When it was initially talked about at E3 2 years ago, it was supposed to. It was blowing people's minds. This past year at E3, they started releasing the videos, and we got that awesome trailer with Keanu Reeves in it, which just shows 2019 is the year of Keanu. I mean, he's magnificent. That's all you could say about him. All right. I've got my son's feet on me, and they stink. Did you have gym class today? Oh.
No.
Okay.
Military!
But yes, no. Some of the biggest news about Cyberpunk. It is an open world game. Obviously, there's going to be campaigns and everything like that. But it is a complete open world RPG that you're this character that is basically a mercenary, and you go around collecting different cybernetic enhancements and everything like that to get better and better at your job. I love it because it harkens back to my D&D days where I used to play Shadowrun. I don't know if there's any other uber nerds that have heard of Shadowrun. It is a tabletop RPG, exactly like Dungeons and Dragons. You build your characters, but you also have all of these cybernetic enhancements that you can do. The point of the game is to find this one enhancement that is not on the market, but it's kind of like a black market, and you've got to find it that actually allows you to be immortal. So that's the overall point of the game. Some of the greatest news just came out yesterday. So the game is going to itself release in April of 2020, and the coolest part is they're going to have DLCs, which are free. They've already announced this. DLCs for this game are going to be free once you buy it. It is a single-player campaign, but after the initial release in April of 2020, they said within probably 2 to 3 months of the initial release, they're going to release the multiplayer version of the game. So you can log on with your friends, and you can go around with your friends in this massive world and play with them and combat other mercenary bands and everything like that. So I don't know. I'm speechless at this point because this sounds like a game. I mean, it's developed by CD Projekt Red, the guys that put together Witcher 3, which, I mean, in my opinion, best of the series. But yeah, the graphics already look amazing. If it's anything like Witcher 3, it's going to be a phenomenal game. It's going to be tough, but it's going to be fun. So I'm super looking forward to it.
I heard that Keanu Reeves is going to be a lot more than just a trailer piece in this game. Something about a apparition that pops up every once in a while.
Yes. As for his exact role, I did not go into that aspect. I'm just excited to have him in it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, I'm gonna be rolling around with John Wick. What the hell?
Will you be
That's like
excellent to
everyone's
each other?
dream right now.
I know. Well, no, not only that, John Wick with a Winter Soldier arm. I mean, cybernetic enhancements on John Wick. Can you imagine?
Will you be excellent to each other?
Oh,
So that's fucking awesome. Yeah, I can't wait
Yes.
for Cyberpunk as well. I know it's like super in the future because it's not even this year, but next year. But
April
I
2020.
mean, there's a lot of hype. I've played Fallout. I've played Red Dead. I've played most of the Assassin's Creed games. So to have an open world game that is future based, that isn't dystopia, like Fallout, that's what I'm excited about for this game.
Right.
So
Yeah, it all takes place in what's called Night City. That's the entire layout of the game. But again, future DLCs may have they're going to have future missions, solo missions, and cooperative. So I'm really excited that they released the multiplayer version.
nice. It's kind of like how Red Dead Redemption 2 decided to take it.
Mm-hmm.
They had the campaign mode up for a couple of months, and then they're like, oh, by the way, we can do live. And at first it was really hard, though. I hope gamers don't do this, but it is what it is. It's an open world, so you're just running around trying to exist and do cool things that are online mission related, and anybody at any point in time can run into the middle of your mission and kill you and steal all of your stuff and the glory of the mission that you were trying to take. And it was pissing people off real hardcore, but oh well, that's what you get when you play an open world online game.
I really hope that's like this, because I mean, in the world of mercenaries, that's what you're gonna do, right?
Right.
Hey, why do all the hard work when somebody else is gonna do it for you, and I can just off them and take it?
You probably won't catch me on that game then, because I'm gonna get real pissed real fast. My inner adolescence will throw the controller at the TV screen. I'm gonna be like, fuck this shit.
really quickly, L10 Smoke says, "Yo, how's everyone doing tonight?"
Well,
Doing really well,
I
thank you.
have the new test release T-shirt on, so I'm doing fucking fantastic.
It looks so good.
It does. It really does. It feels so good to wear.
So good.
I mean, you better have some in your suitcase come next week.
Yeah.
I am. That's the plan. Like when I made these shirts, so FYI, my parents are in an embroidery business mixed with steam press T-shirts and the lot. They do chenille for Letterman's jackets and whatnot. And
They do steam.
I was like,
what?
steam press. That's the
Steampunk.
type of T-shirt.
Someone just always has steampunk on the mind. I see how it is.
Yeah. And I was like, I know how to make shirts really fast. So I went to my parents. I was just like, I need T-shirts made. And they were like, yeah, sure. What's the deadline? And I told them. And they're like, oh, so we got like a month and a half to make these shirts. I'm like, yeah. And they're like, yeah, it's too easy. So had the custom sizes get done. And then today they're like, oh, yeah, we got the prints out. So when do you need them by again? And I go, next week. And they're like, cool. So I took a trip to go pick up some mail, and for some future content, I picked up a microphone to help catch my audio a lot better. And as I walked in, lo and behold, my dad was already starting to put these bad boys on the T-shirts. So it was a win-win. The T-shirts are all made, and they're ready to be taken over to California for the California trip next week. And then, of course, we will have a T-shirt available to say "Welcome home" to J4 when he gets back.
Yeah.
Woo.
Speaking of which, J4, how you holding up?
Tired.
What you drinking?
What you thinking about?
I need to fill up my coffee, actually.
Oh yeah,
Morning
Well-
coffee club is all day.
right.
All day, every day.
So is Adult Beverage Club.
And with that, while he goes and gets coffee, let's do a segue. I don't know. Transition. Flipping it over to Mayan Goddess. Star Wars Jedi
Okay.
Fallen Order.
So, in case you haven't noticed, I like Star Wars.
Oh, really?
And the latest Battlefronts have been kind of hit or miss with EA, and so it's been a dark time for us Star Wars fans. But Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order is exciting. They did a great showing in E3, and it's very similar to, if you've been reading the books, if you read Aftermath, so like right after, or not Aftermath, it's right after Order 66. I forget which book that one was. I'm a dope Star Wars fan, help me out. But
Star Wars Episode 3.
It's basically, it happens right after Order 66 happens, and the Jedi are on the run. They're busy, trying not to die. And so you see kind of like this guerrilla warfare mixed with Jedi, and seeing those kind of tactics, almost like a nitty gritty thing, but like nitty gritty Star Wars themed, like Rambo almost. And so that's really exciting to see. And it kind of reminds me of Rogue One with those kind of like war tactics. So I have my hopes really, really high for it. However, it is EA. And I saw what they did with Anthem. I saw what they've done with the Battlefronts. So I'm like, please, 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 EA, if there's anything you could take from the fans, is give the developers a chance to create this right.
Listen to the fans, too.
Yes, listen to the fans. Give the developers their freedom. Because if you see some of the things about Battlefront, like a lot of the ideas that got kind of shelved because of studio interference, like Battlefront could have been amazing. So I'm hoping with Star Wars Jedi Fallen Order that'll happen.
Yeah.
Hopefully they've learned from their mistakes with Battlefront 2 and with Anthem, and it'll be great. But
every time someone says the problems with Battlefront, I think about was it Disturbed or Avenged Sevenfold? Like the lead singer of that band, he had an interview with people, and he picks up the Xbox game, and he goes, "This game is shit." Takes out a hammer or something and just starts smashing the shit out of the game and breaking it. And he goes, "This is the worst video game I have ever fucking played. I hate it." And then flips off the people at EA, goes, "Fuck you for making a horrible game." And I'm like, wow, alright, guess I won't be playing this game, like, for real.
Yeah, I will say this, though, for me, like, my favorite game in the Star Wars series is still Knights of the Republic.
Yes.
Fiber Optic Fear mentioned that, and that's a great movie. Great game with a really good storyline. Oh yeah. Well, awesome. There's always Disney Plus. But yeah, so that's kind of my take on it. I really like the direction that they're going with it. So gameplay, I'm just hoping that they stick to that model and they listen to their developers, they listen to their fans. And holy my goodness.
Yay! Cosplay Genemy just stopped in.
Descended upon us. What?
What's up, Luna?
Hey girl, hey!
I had to
It's been like forever.
advertise for my new product rep that I'm doing.
Ooh!
It's a candle. It's called Just as Sane as You Are, and it's from 42 Nerdtastic Place, and I've been brand repping for them. So I was doing a little mini photo shoot after my kiddos went down.
Hey!
And she still has the wig on.
Yay! My glasses.
Anyway, so continue. Okay. Mine got us.
Oh, that was it.
I came in right at the right time. End of thought.
I'm still loving.
Smoke says, "What's up?"
I'm still loving Force Unleashed. I still love playing.
Yes, that game's awesome too.
I'm sorry, and the storytelling in it is absolutely wonderful, with it and the second one.
And hello to the person who said hello on Twitch,
yes,
by the way.
Well, hello.
Says hello.
All right.
Hello.
Since
since Jenemy is here, I'm going to take a quick break. So I shall be back in about 5.
Cool. I'll time you.
Be sure to wash your hands.
He didn't hear that part too. That's the best part. Now, hopefully he's awake. J4, it's your turn.
Good morning. Good morning.
It's nice to
Define awake.
Good night.
All right, so
Your eyes
I'm. Yeah, well. Yeah. I'm really excited for Greedfall. It actually comes out next week, which I'm pretty pumped about. I think it's going to be the first brand new game that I buy or will have bought in like years. I generally don't buy brand new games anymore because your results may vary. You know what? A finished product isn't normally shipped as a game anymore. They're never finished products. So I usually end up waiting for all the bugs to get worked out, and B, wait for all the DLC to come out as a package deal. So I end up spending less money than somebody else did.
Right,
but
like when Spider-Man just came out with the Ultimate Gold Edition or whatever, with all of it attached to it. I was like, God damn it.
yeah, that is. So that kind of stuff gets old quick.
Yeah.
But anyway, it's Greedfall. It's a looks like an action RPG that seems very more heavily focused on character dialogue and story building and world building. It's going to be an RPG that has, they're claiming 0 fetch quests, which makes my heart super happy. If you can do a complete RPG game with no fetch quests these days, that's pretty dope. So it's the basis of the game is like the country that you're in is has this new disease that's wiping a lot of people out, and you're looking for this cure that happens to be on this magical undiscovered island. And you and other factions are all going to this island to try to figure out the cure for this disease. And it focuses a lot on social interactions and not necessarily politics, but negotiation to solve your problems. Generally gets the better outcome over the more violent ones. That being said, you still have violent options. It's got a magical based system, and it's got from what I've seen, it's got a level up system very similar to Final Fantasy X.
Okay.
For those of you that don't remember that one or never played that one, it's like you had this weird tree of branching skills that if you went down one way, you had some options open. If you went down another, and then you could sometimes go around to get to those other options. And right. You get 3 main trees. You get your physical attacks, your magical attacks, and your more diplomatic skills to choose from. So I'm pretty excited around that. It's got this French Renaissance art style. The costumes in the game are very much reminiscent of that, which makes sense considering the developer is Spider Studios, which is a French company, who, doing some research tonight, have not a lot of games behind them. I think their last game that they put out was Technomancer, which I had never heard of, that came out 3 years ago. Or Of Orcs and Men, some Sherlock Holmes games. But yeah, they're not a very big developer, but their art style kind of reminds me of a cross between Assassin's Creed and Dragon Age.
Okay.
It's very, I like it a lot.
Well,
and it kind of also gives off some Fable vibes too.
Okay. So I love level up games. Those are my favorite. I like level up games because they make me feel like I'm earning something, I'm rewarding something, and getting stronger. Those are always fun. On top of that, I played Final Fantasy X. That's how I got introduced to Final Fantasy. That was my first Final Fantasy, and then my stepbrother was like, oh, well, if you like this game, you should try this, and then he let me play Final Fantasy VII. That's when I got hooked. The tree thing, it can be very complicated, but it's super involved. So I will say definitely ask for some time off from work, or ask the PlayStation
Yeah.
the PlayStation replacers, and just take some time off, because you're gonna need to, because that stuff gets really complicated, but it's fun. So that's gonna be dope.
And it also it's kind of like a lot of the BioWare games where the decisions that you make impact how other people treat you throughout the game, and different scenarios can happen throughout the game because of what you say and the choices that you make. So that, for me, that I like that because it adds some aspect of replayability.
Okay.
And it comes out September 10th on PC, Xbox, and PS4.
Nice. Well, that's gonna be dope. I guess it's my turn now. So the game I'm gonna be talking about is a game that I'm the utmost excited for, because I had such disappointment with the last couple of Call of Duty games, but Modern Warfare is coming back. Just to clear the air, it is definitely a reboot. They didn't know how to approach it in terms of making their statement, but the more they were developing the game and the campaign, they owned up to it, and it is 100% a reboot to the original Modern Warfare series, which is one of my all-time favorite video games. And the news that has come out over time has been exciting. For instance, it's got a long campaign mode, and it's driven on the politics in the world that is going on now. So just a heads up, if you're sensitive about stuff that's going on in today's world, I'm going to go ahead and say it's probably not your kind of game. For campaign mode. Multiplayer, they've got a couple of different cool things. They got the obvious ones, and then they've added the a 2v2, so two people can go online versus two other people. A variety of different maps that you can play, whether large or small. And then they've got, I think, 20 or 30 player versus 30 player games, which I'm just like, holy shit biscuits, that's intense. And then in terms of multiplayer, I'm also super excited because they brought in the C-130, so that's really awesome. But then they brought in something I've been wanting out of a Call of Duty game for like forever. They have a fucking tank as a kill streak mode. You can drive around a tank as a kill streak mode. Hold on, while Single Dad takes a photo. Oh,
Too late. Oh,
I'm
I'm too fast for you.
Yep. I wasn't paying attention. I'm sorry.
It's okay. Army never does.
Nope. Neither does the Marines. So.
No, we don't. We're too busy eating crowds.
Nom nom.
So yeah, they have a tank.
Invasion force versus occupation force. Come on.
From what I've seen with the tank is you can drive it around. They've got the mounted 50 cal that you can operate, plus the cannon itself. But you can also have people jump on it, like in Halo 2, when you started being allowed to drive the tank in campaign mode. People can get on top of the tank and help protect the tank, because obviously there's going to be certain angles that you can't get to. So if you've got somebody on the tank, they can get somebody who's too close, things like that. So that's fucking awesome. Yeah, that's exciting. And then the exciting news as well that I learned was they said there is anywhere between, depending on the weapon, over 30 to 60 customizations and attachments for guns. And I'm just like, I'm sorry, what? Because the last time I checked, the previous games, if I remember correctly, had maybe 15. So to have 30 to 60, depending on the gun, for a customization, I can't even fathom what's going to happen.
It's
but
obviously an AR platform because that's like the Legos of adults.
I'm thinking now of like when someone took I couldn't tell if it was Photoshop or real, but they had like 3 scopes on it, 3 different scope attachments, and between the 2 top ones was another handle in between those 2, and then a grenade launcher on the bottom, and then a handle underneath the grenade launcher, and then another handle on the side with a flashlight attached to the handle. I'm just like, so is this what we're gonna see? Because that would be fucking hilarious.
That's some like spider-looking gun shit there.
Right?
And that's the fun thing. People actually do this in real life, and they still can't shoot for shit.
No, of course not.
And Mayans lost it.
Yeah.
I almost choked on tea.
So, hey, real quick on that. Yes, I'm sure you've all seen it. Why spend $3,000 on upgrading your rifle when you can spend $600 on a good rifle and $2,400 on training how to use it?
Yep. Anyway, yeah. So, and then what was the other thing? They've kind of done it their own way, where there's certain games that have come out where they make something super hyper realistic, like God of War. I don't know if any of you played the God of War mode on God of War, but if you get hit once, it's like 3/4 of your health was just gone. And it's like, fuck. And then Red Dead Redemption 2, when you increase the difficulty, it gets really fucking insane. If you don't eat, your health will diminish. If you don't sleep, your health will diminish. So they decided to take it their step further and make night vision mode necessary.
Is there a tactical pause version in this game?
I have no idea. I haven't played it yet. No, but they have made certain modes to be like a realistic nighttime, where you need to apply the night vision goggles in order to actually do the part of the game. So I'm like, wow, holy shit. And of course I'm super psyched. I bought it. Yeah, I got the night vision goggle mode of the game. I want the night vision goggles. I'm sorry.
I remember you saying that.
Yeah. Yep. I'm probably gonna play the game with night vision goggles.
And those are what they're gonna look like right there.
Right there. They're
Yes.
editing everything.
Yes.
This is that moment where I tell everybody to go to our YouTube channel to see what the fuck we're talking about.
Those glasses are glorious.
So
Toast
the game,
afterwards.
You can't see it all in them,
no, especially at nighttime.
especially at night.
Yeah, they're perfect for night vision goggles. Come
Night vision
on.
goggles.
I wear my
Walk right into a wall.
sunglasses at night. I wear my
I would walk.
I'm
in-
glad somebody started singing it because I was humming it in my head.
And then we get sued for singing it. No, I'm just kidding. So yeah, it comes out in October. I'm super stoked for it. It's
Hold
gonna be
1, 2, 3.
Ow.
Sudden child is sudden. What?
Is that
So literally, I was
torpedo?
he was trying to tackle me, and I did it again. Just stiff armed him. So right now he's trying to attack me. Hey,
Well,
your cookies are burning.
Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. Only
Timer.
if he sings the Spider-Man song.
Oh, they want you to sing the Spider-Man song.
I forgot the Spider-Man song.
Here's like
Well-
I brought it. I
Oh.
did it just
Speaking of, did y'all see the release from Sony's president today?
Oh, that they're gonna
Oh.
renegotiate and retalk.
No. He said the door is closed right now for Spidey being in the MCU. They stopped talking. Sony stopped talking.
So whatever Marvel said, they said fuck you.
Yeah.
Because I remember
that's the president of Sony saying
Yeah.
right
yes-
now door is closed on Spidey being in the MCU.
Yeah. Because yesterday there were talks about how
Yes.
they were going to
Yep.
renegotiate.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
now, well, speaking
Yeah.
of video games, I mean, if you guys are missing MCU stuff, just get the Spider-Man video
Spider-Man.
game on PS4,
Yeah,
and
it's
then you'll
awesome.
be fine.
Or, fun fact, they have comic books.
What?
That requires reading.
What? There's
They
Spider-Man
have
comic books?
pictures.
Tell me more.
Okay, but it doesn't finish the line that they're doing right now.
I mean, they actually could. They literally
could.
could.
If they
in the
did, then
comic
I would be
books.
fine. If they put out those comics, I would be happy. But I would really
Which-
like to, I don't know, at one point get a third Spider-Man to finish to wrap up a storyline
Meh.
that doesn't suck.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's only been one that got that far,
It
and
doesn't
then you said that last part.
So, I know we're talking about video games. On this episode primarily, but I had one thing I wanted to say on that last episode when we talked about this is I feel like somewhere down the line, whenever there's a trilogy or a series of movies or just a movie that comes out, it makes a lot of money at the box office. The beginning reviews are, oh, that was a pretty good movie. I really enjoyed it. Someone, somewhere, comes out with a, and I use quote fingers here, logical argument to state why the movie sucks, and then all of a sudden everybody decides to say, well, I'm not going to use my brain and think for myself. I just like what that person says, and now we're all going to say this movie sucks. Did I like Toby coming out of the fucking room, starting to dance? No. Did I like the emo? No. Did I like the fact that practically everybody fucking died? No. But, you know what? I'll be the first to say it. I enjoyed it when I first went to go see Spider-Man 3. And the fact that there's so much hate for Toby as Spider-Man, I'm sitting here going, it's a movie. Move on with your life.
Breathe. Breathe.
Toby wasn't what
Breathe.
hurt me.
Breathe.
Toby was not what hurt me.
I mean,
The guy
be
who played
fair-
Venom was what hurt me.
to be fair, I left the theater in hysterics. I was laughing so hard I was crying leaving the theater. That's how much it was amazing.
I
So I'm not
remember.
gonna say I followed in. I remember I walked out of the theater and the guy that I went with, me and him just looked at each other and then we just busted out laughing. And then I don't think we stopped laughing until we got back to wherever we were going.
I remember being with my friends and us just like looking at each other like, what have they done?
What just
So
happened?
I don't want to say that we followed anybody. I'm going to say that I had my own reaction to that movie. And I was
Yeah.
The one thing I
will say
didn't
this,
like,
the Sandman storyline in that was fantastic.
yeah.
It was
Yeah.
tragic and it was beautiful. Other than that, the whole thing was.
it was overshadowed by a lot of other things going on.
The
Yeah.
problem
And
was,
I felt like the conflict and resolution between Harry and Peter had a lot of potential, and it could have been a lot more emotionally impactful. But it was, like she said, it was also overshadowed just by some hot garbage.
could you do me a favor and shut the dryer door again? 'Cause
Yeah, it sounds like
It
there are
sounds
birds
like
having
you-
sex behind you.
It really does. I mean, but I absolutely loved the Spider-Man that MTV put out, the TV show.
Oh yeah, that was a good show too.
Like, absolutely, positively favorite. And I even have like the 1962 version on DVD somewhere around
I
here.
gotta say though, the '90s animated series was my favorite. That stuff was gold for me.
I'll agree with you for that one.
But then again, anything that came out in the '90s that was an animated series was fucking gold. Because unlike most things, they derived most of their storylines straight from the comic books, and then changed it ever so little bit by little.
I would have to say I wouldn't necessarily give it that carte blanche. I would have to go back and watch them all because remember in the 90s we were kids, so we might be looking at the fact that was rose-colored glasses.
Oh, true. I think they're on Netflix Kids right now. Most of those '90s shows.
I did that recently with a movie that I love from my childhood.
Did it ruin it?
I ruined my own childhood.
Yeah. So I stopped watching.
I'm sorry.
Stopped watching.
I grew up thinking The Last Unicorn was the most badass movie, and
Yeah.
the Balrogs that they had in there, and going back and watching it now, the hell were they smoking when they made that?
The same thing everybody else.
I mean, this
Money.
This was
Dollar
Yeah.
bills rolled up and then lit on fire and inhaled. That's what they did.
well, this is 1980s 1980s Hobbit.
Also cocaine.
Animation. Yeah.
Okay.
So y'all know what I'm talking about.
Okay,
I
gotta get ready for work.
Crystal was amazing in a game.
Okay.
He has to leave
Thanks
with
for
the
being
unicorn.
on with us, J4.
Yep. Later, guys.
All right.
Deuces.
Yeah.
Be safe.
Yeah, I ruined my childhood. Oh, well, kind of, sort of, when I went back and rewatched Mighty Morphin Power Rangers.
I was gonna say Power Rangers. Yeah. 'cause
And it was, for me, it was like, I grew up loving Tommy the most. So I went back and watched the Green Ranger and him turning into a good guy. And my takeaway from it, though, it was great. It was great watching it. But about 5 or maybe 7 episodes into Tommy being a good guy, every single episode was bad guy shows up, whoops their asses, and he goes, Tommy, we need your help. He shows up, beats the bad guy's ass, and I'm just like, really?
Yep.
They're just like, this is how they're
Yeah.
doing this show? It was fucking hilarious.
Yep.
Yep. But
Nostalgia is fun.
it can be, yes.
Yep.
So Cosplay Jenemy, what video game are you excited about?
I am looking forward to the newest release of Sims 4. It's magic.
Yeah.
So,
They're coming
wait,
out with magic finally.
I was gonna say, are they actually making a new Sims game? Because I haven't played one in forever.
They've had Sims 4 has been out for 8 years, maybe.
I was about to jokefully say 10.
It might be close to that. I'm not exactly sure. And they've have about 8 different releases now, and they're putting out Magic on the 10th of September. So next week, this weekend, I don't know, a couple days, 5 days from now, I can add that much.
Math is hard.
That's true for all of us.
Okay.
And so,
Sims Magic. What's magic about it? Like, what? Tell us about the game. Like,
Sims Hogwarts.
kind-ish. You actually you can be a wizard, and you get the wizard's coat and all that kind of stuff. They're also coming out with dragons and fairies that you can have as pets as long as you have the expansion of Sims Pets. They have a new world that will be coming out, which they release a new town, I guess is really what it is.
if I try to get a dragon without the
Sure.
content, will the dragon try to eat me? Like, what's up?
I don't know. Usually they have like some type of critters that are free in the game as well as ones that are connected with families. And so I don't think they would have them eat you because not any of the other pets. But sometimes the dogs will fight. So
So
Does
if
the
it's
cat will fight?
magic, is there going to be a dungeon room?
maybe.
I know where you're going with this. I guarantee you somebody's already done that with their Sim.
I don't
mean,
care.
I
I
mean,
just want to
Sims
torture
is
with
actually
magic.
rated, like Sims is actually rated adult
Yeah.
for
Like,
sexual themes and violence.
well, I mean, I put my guy in a 4x4 wall room like thing and just waited for them to die. So
You can ride on broomsticks too, which will be cool. Be able to ride on broomsticks in the new one and do spells and curses. Which I have a mermaid right now, so that'll be like really fun if I can like make her a witch mermaid.
I want to fly the character into the air as high as I can on the broomstick, then take the broomstick away and just watch him fall.
Ew.
See what they do. You're mean. Okay, so you would like
You
being a
turned off
mermaid.
your bike, by the way.
You would like being
Oh,
a
I was gonna
mermaid
say
then,
that sounds like exactly what you do. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
because the mermaids are like evil, which is amazing because mermaids really are evil.
Yeah.
And like you can
Yeah.
siren call somebody who's walking down the beach and then pull them in towards you and then like make the ocean like disappear underneath them.
Oh my god. So By the way, you just reminded me of another game that's like that but not mermaids. They're in development to make a Grand Theft Auto version of a shark swimming through all of the oceans, eating people and fish.
Okay, so I know they have like kids games that already do that because my kids got one for Shark Week.
Like,
Yes.
And then like basically you just go through and you eat and eat and eat and eat until you get bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, and you like devour the whole town or the whole world.
yeah, but in this game, because it's like Grand Theft Auto, there's a wanted kind of thing. So the more people you eat, the more hunters and poachers and the government gets involved to track you down to stop you from being an evil piece of shit. So
it's the quest to become Jaws,
yes,
basically.
But worse.
Yeah, if I could
Alright.
do it to get bigger and bigger and bigger, I want to be like a fucking megalodon. Show up at that beach, just open my mouth and just eat everybody that's there, then fuck off.
Like the whole boat.
Yes, exactly.
I'm not gonna lie. One of my favorite simulated games is Goat Simulator. It is so great.
And we will be playing the Climbing with Friends game or whatever. Which, by the way, Cosplay Genevieve, since you weren't here to listen to this, J4 and I have played a game where stack friends or something, and there's this ragdoll person. You take them by their limb, swing them up, and you climb on top of each other until you create the tallest tower you can. Here's the kicker: they're all naked.
Okay then.
Yummy.
Catch us on Twitch this weekend as we know. Just kidding.
Yes. Yes. Oh wait, we gotta plug that, don't we?
Yes, we
Fuck
do.
yeah, since we're
Okay.
talking about games.
Yes. So real quick. So we are all teaming up together to raise money for charity this weekend on Friday, which when this posts it will be yesterday. But and
On yesterday.
So Friday, September 6th, and Sunday, September 8th. I'm great at math. We will be raising money for the Gary Sinise Foundation. If you don't know about the organization, they're notorious for helping veterans, first responders, their families, and pretty much everybody in need. They're very selfless people doing very selfless deeds, and we are going to be doing that this weekend for this month's charity stream. So definitely stop by, watch us kind of embarrass ourselves with Keep Talking, No One Explodes, the Jackbox games. We're going to be interacting with viewers and all that jazz. So yeah, it's going to be fun.
6th? You said the 6th as well? So tomorrow? Friday?
Yes.
Tomorrow and Sunday.
I have tomorrow off, so I will be there with you all day if you want me to.
I will
We
be
should-
here what time I can.
We should play Bro Force.
I have
At
a
some point.
Yes.
I have a VA appointment tomorrow, so you know I can't change that.
Oh no, you're fine.
I just
It's the
reschedule
VA,
it. They'll
girls. They
they'll
come
get
up.
you in like
It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Just reschedule that.
Yeah,
Um,
Cyberpunk 2077 will come out before you get it.
Yeah, there you go. So, just as a quick shout out to everybody that listens, we're trying to hone in, do better. We talked about literally everything we need to talk about, and we made it under an hour. So good job on all of us.
We actually did it
High five.
under 45
We actually
minutes
fucking
with
did it.
everybody.
Exactly.
Can I share a nerdy moment that happened that really, really warmed my heart?
You have 2 minutes. I'm just kidding. Go for
Okay. So someone who
it. She starts
watches us and likes what we do came up to me at Long Beach Comic Con and decided to give a gift. And it
It was that.
is a copy of The Flash
Oh wow.
from
Wow.
1996.
Wow.
So when our lovely boss comes down to California, he'll get to see it because it's in a really good condition.
Yeah.
So yeah, so that's my kind of nerd moment, and Jenemy would totally get to be a part of it and see it if she were coming, but it's okay. I'm just rubbing it in your face that you can't come
Well, it's fine.
And we're all gonna
because
be at
to California.
Disneyland.
To California. That's what I meant.
Portraits and Cosplay constantly rubs it in my face that I won't be at Rose City Comic Con. So it's totally fine. And I would like to note to Alan, I love you dearly. I'm sorry I'm not going to Rose City. But Antifa is there, and I don't want to be there. So, just kidding.
Wait, what?
He tried to joke on Facebook, and he goes, "All flights going out of Seattle to LAX have been canceled. Sorry, you won't be able to go." And then I go, "Antifa has shut down Rose City Comic Con, so sorry, you're not going to be able to go."
I will say I am excited about finally meeting our illustrious boss like in person. So that's great.
Right.
I'll be going to SpaCon in Hot Springs, Arkansas the following week. So
that sounds awesome.
Anyway, so yeah, again, like with California and all this wonderful jazz, we will not be here next week, but I will be dropping down some exclusive, well, not exclusive, but awesome content on our YouTube channel.
You'll be at SpaCon. We'll be at NerdBot.
Oh yeah.
I
made the mistake of I'll be doing a panel there, and I'll be one of the judges for one of the things.
All right.
So yeah.
I'll be working very tirelessly on my days off to bring more and more content for our YouTube channel. There are a lot of things that we're planning for the group as well. So make sure you check out our YouTube channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button every time you see us. It really boosts our numbers and helps us out. T-shirts are currently what I'm wearing is more of a tester T-shirt for everybody who's a part of Geek Boots. I am working hard to get the next step, which would be to make it so that you can purchase these T-shirts. But right now it's just a black plain T-shirt with our logo on it. So I want to make sure that when we sell T-shirts, they're really top quality and have everything that they need to have. So there's that. Super excited for that. It'll probably be a made-to-order basis because I do not have the funds and none of us truly have the time to sit there and order a bunch of T-shirts that may or may not even sell. So I'm trying to play safe.
Order your T-shirts in bulk. Yours. Yes, please. Order like 50 of them.
There you go, yeah. And then distribute them to all your friends and family. Of course,
give them out as gifts for a party.
Exactly. Emerald City Comic Con, WonderCon. Make sure you come say hi to both of those. Emerald City Comic Con is going to be a panel. Plus, we'll be shooting some material for YouTube because that's another point in time when we'll be all together. So that'll be fun. And then WonderCon, big military meetup, maybe another panel. We'll see what happens, but that's going to happen. And then I am working to attempt to, maybe some of us, if I save up the money and the time off, go to a Soldier Con and go hang out at Soldier Con and promote us there as well.
Yes.
That would be a lot of fun getting to go there.
So for all of our military listeners that really want to go to a con that's almost, I guess one would say, centered towards the military, go to Soldier Con. Check it out. It's pretty awesome because they do cars and cosplay. And if you are not military and you'd like to support the troops, go to Soldier Con. Go hang out. It's going to be awesome. They have an Instagram, and that's where they post their dates. So make sure to check that out. I'm trying really hard to fill in the 10-minute, 12-minute gap that we have.
You don't have to.
That's
true. We don't have
that
to.
Is true. I will say this. There is. Where is Soldier Con? That is a good question. Wilscar wants to know.
It's in various places. The one that I believe that Tom Cruise is discussing. We talked about that. Where is it? Arizona or New Mexico?
I think Arizona. Mesa, Arizona is where. Mesa.
Phoenix area, 2019.
It's kind
Mesa,
of
Arizona in October.
Yeah, it's kind of a traveling con.
Yes.
The person who runs it rents out some space and gets the event kind of set up, so it's not really like one location. So definitely follow them on Instagram to get information.
And not only is it a con that's usually for military and everything like that, it's not just the convention. They also usually have a car show going on at the same time.
So yeah, they have car shows and yep.
So yeah, it's pretty dope. And the individual running the Instagram, he's actually pretty responsive. So if you were to just ask him, hey, what's the tour dates looking like? I'm sure he can hook you up because he doesn't have a site up. He just has his Instagram for now. But I definitely want to be a part of this everything that he's doing. So I'm going to look into figuring out how to do it. It'll probably cost me a pretty penny, but whatever. Yeah, so that has been this exciting episode of Geek Boots. We got to tell you all about quick episode.
Super exciting.
I'm
Yeah.
happy
Yes.
we honed in everything we needed to hone in because that's something that I realized, not everybody has an hour and a half, 2 hours to sit there and listen to us. So hour-long episodes is what we're trying to do from now on. Fun stuff. Yeah.
Oh, and if you look in the if you go and take a look in the group chat, I sent you the Reddit meme with the Mims sex dungeon. Just so for years.
Jesus Christ.
Just what?
Now we're all going. We're all like, wait.
You have to read it. You have to read it because it is phenomenal.
Okay, do you want me to do it in my flight attendant voice? Let's do this.
Sure.
So I taught my little sister how to make a basement in The Sims 3, and this is what she created. The walls are all covered with mirrors, with some more mirrors spread out across the room, and a single chair in the corner under the only light. Her plan is to throw a party and then lock all the guests in her dungeon. I don't know what she's planning to do with them next, but she kept whispering, "They're all gonna die," in my ear while I was taking the picture. Update, she just realized that she can play as a man and get every woman in the town pregnant. She's on a mission and there's no stopping her now. I don't know what to do with this kid.
I want to see that family tree line after
It's
you
probably
get every person in the town pregnant.
Oh
It's
my
really
it's look at any Alabama family. I mean, it's less of a tree, more of a bush.
No,
Just kind
in
of
the
intertwines.
Sims, it actually will
Oh.
show your family tree.
Oh god.
Oh, wow.
And so that's why I was saying, I want to see what the actual family tree
It's
looks like.
Okay, so you've seen Idiocracy and the opening credits to it.
Yes!
You got that one
I
idiot
want-
Cletus.
I want my family tree to be that tree from the movie 300, where they went to that village that had just been ransacked and all the bodies are just fucking stuck to the tree, dead and shit. That's my family tree.
Okay,
I'm
so
going
we
to
take
hell.
a term to the
It's
dark.
not really a family tree. Do you guys know what a family tree looks like?
Yeah, it's a tree where
Does
I
that
stick my
mean you
dead
murdered
family
the
on.
whole
There's
family?
not actually a
So-
tree. It's lines from pictures.
I'm hearing this word intervention being thrown around for Tom
Yeah,
Cruise.
I think it's time.
I think it's I think
I
we
know.
need to have a discussion.
Well, I'm sorry, but you know what? He believes in Scientology. He needs to have an intervention. He's going a little nuts.
Save me with your witchcraft, Tom Cruise.
Yeah, nothing else to add. Then I think I just want to know at the end of this episode, I think I laughed so hard when I found out people were being offended by a Dave Chappelle special on
I know.
Netflix, and I couldn't help but laugh, going, because he's okay. So first of all, he says it at the beginning of his special. You clicked on my face. I don't know what
Yes.
you're thinking of, and I'm sitting here going, no, it's in the title. Dave Chappelle. No, not even Sticks and Stones. Dave Chappelle. You should know.
He's been out
right
for a
out the
while.
gate. Yeah.
I mean, he's been away for a while, so maybe people don't remember what he used to do.
Like,
I haven't
no, he
seen
had
it yet,
All it
so I
takes
don't.
is one Google search. That's all it
But-
takes.
I feel
Are you
like
expecting Dora the Explorer and accidentally went to C instead of D? Like,
It's Dave fucking Chappelle. Like, he has done a skit where a blind black man thinks he's white and he's a member of the KKK.
That
Like-
was his opening skit. That
Yeah.
that was his introduction to Comedy Central. So
My
I
favorite.
feel like that people might not remember who he is because he's been away
There's-
for a while, but
No. It's like I told single dad when I comment going, no, it's more of a people who are complaining are too young to know who Dave Chappelle is.
And
Because
that's it.
nobody forgets who Dave Chappelle is. That comedy was so raunchy, there's no forgetting
There are
who
so
that
many
man is.
iconic moments in there
I added
too.
him to I added him to my my list on Netflix because
Yeah.
I was like I will get to this, but I have to be in the right mood.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
There
I
were
was like-
certain jokes I'm like, fuck you, Dave Chappelle. And then there's other jokes where I'm like, fucking right?
I feel like that anybody who's well-rounded is gonna have ones that you agree with and ones you disagree with.
That's
Yes.
But it's kind of the point of comedy is to point out
The
the
absurd.
stupid things of
true.
life.
Yeah.
I said it before and I'll say it again. I had a buddy of mine, and he's a stand-up comic. Sorry, that's the TV over here.
Oh,
Um,
it sounded like an alarm. So I'm like, is one of you under trouble? What's going on?
No.
He started to talk and he got background music because he was going to say
The
something.
hive is coming. The hive is coming through the portal on man like internet.
He was going to say something so epic he needed background music for it.
Yes.
Well, yes, that too. But I've got a buddy. He's a fellow veteran. I was on his podcast at the Comedy Store, and he's a stand-up comic. And he said, "There's nothing's off limits." They were writing jokes about 9/11 before the second tower was hit. So that's the thing. You've got to be poignant. You've got to be on time, and you've got to be writing those jokes about anything, any social commentary that you want to make. They have to bring it out, and they've got to point out the absurdity of what's going on in society. That's what makes them
It's
good comic.
it's like my buddy always used to tell me. Comedy is a lot like food. Everyone has their own taste.
Yeah.
And you can't shame somebody for having a certain taste. Like, do I like the fact that people who are of certain groups joke about 9/11? No, but I'm not going to sit there and ridicule them for it. I'm going to do what I was taught by the military, ignore their existence and move on with my life
There
because
you go.
that's what I can do.
Don't
And-
watch it and don't talk about
Yeah.
it because if you talk about it, you're giving them
The platform.
You're giving the platform, you're giving them publication or whatever word I'm looking for.
promotion.
That was
Yeah,
three.
acknowledgement.
Attention.
I'm going with all of
Attention.
them.
All of them.
Yeah.
All of it.
All of
Yes.
these, all of these adjectives,
Pleasure,
all of these.
Go for all the words.
a reach around, a Dutch rudder.
I
Oh,
swear.
over 40 says hi. He is here via Genemy's Instagram. So
Aw,
thank you.
Hi.
Yay!
I'm both happy and jealous.
So you're just like normal. This is
So
your
what I'm
status.
saying is, I wish my friends would tune in.
Damn.
Calling them out.
He's saying
And on that note, I'm gonna call this a night. Thank you everybody for tuning in. Catch us not next week, but the week after. We're gonna
Not
talk
next
about
on that weekend.
horror movies
Oh, God,
and
another one
Ooh,
that
horror movies.
I'm part of.
horror movies and
Horror movies.
horror
Horror.
movies, horror
That's
and
why I
horror.
had my tongue out like.
Horror movies.
Maya Goddess's sex tape will be involved.
Which one?
Well,
Apparently
she
there's
was.
a box set.
It's the one that was.
The collector's edition.
It was her ETS sex tape. She was
It's
getting
great.
out. She was getting out of the Marines, and she just wanted to have one final hurrah. She became the barracks queen real fast.
Barracks queen.
I really
Look
call
at
myself-
her only 7. Wait, no, sorry.
You are the barracks queen.
So before we go and hang up on this, can I just say, as a in the military, I think it's hilarious how every branch has a name for that person who goes
Barracks
to
rat.
the barracks. Yeah, everyone's got a different version of it. The Marines call it the barracks queen. The Navy
Barracks
calls it the barracks rat. I don't remember what the Army calls it because I was too afraid to touch that because diseases and stuff. I'm sorry. I know the army too damn well to not be using condoms for protection inside the barracks. So I was like, no, I'm
He
good.
puts down plastic on the beds.
Yeah.
The
And
wall.
on the floor, the walls.
Got the Lysol on standby.
So
Tiptoes.
it's like a
Spray.
Jackson Pollock
So
painting. in
that's
there.
why your grandmother has it all over her couch.
Yes.
Oh.
And on that note, that is the end of this episode. Thank you all for tuning in. I'm Tom Cruise. With me is Single Dad,
What up?
Mayan Goddess, and Cosplay Genevieve. You have to say something.
I couldn't say anything.
This is like that third episode where we're like at Single Dad and he just waves. I'm like, so you have to say something. It's audio. And he goes, no.
You can see it now. The plastic couch
And,
cover with the doilies.
Well, the barracks money comes on.
and in
by.
honor of-
Oscar.
And in honor of J4, Toodles.
Deuces.
This has been Geek Boots. We will see you in a couple of weeks. Bye.